Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Alchemy. Today, we're speaking about financial security and your side business, because I find that for plenty of entrepreneurs that are wanting to, and this counts not only for people that are starting a business. This counts for people that are actually running a business that's making some cash. Um, the battle that goes on within between how can I make money now to pay the bills and what's best for my business to grow, because it really is a game of attention. Um, and I find it fascinating how the two orientations, if you um, will feed you different actions to go off. So we're going to be chatting about that today, but we're going to be going quite deep into it. And I want to speak about this because I just feel like um, not only in my world am I really practicing engaging in this battle, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that in a second. But I'm also hearing from a lot of people that this is something that they go through constantly. So it is a battle. It is a battle because if you think about it, like when you've got financial pressures or when you've got things that you want to go experience. So right now I've got this big trip to Europe coming up mid-May. So immediately I've already booked in like the first 2 weeks, and I've got an end date that I want to finish the trip on. And immediately my ego's going, how can we, make more cash now? Even though the cash is there, it's like, how can we make even more so we can get the most out of our time over there? So there's like this temptation to go into a mode of creativity, because that's essentially what it is. I have a thought, I feel an emotion with that thought, I get certain ideas. That's a creation, and if I go and act on those ideas, I'm going to create a particular outcome. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have had ideas, and I've held back because I I get that it, the trip to Europe is still going to work out. It's still going to go um, the way that I want it to go. I'm still going to create what I'd love out of it, and it's not going to because I have more money available. Do you know what I mean? It's like I've actually put off this trip to Spain and France. If that's become a recent addition, I've put it off for ages because I've had this figure in mind. It's like I've got to have this much, and then I'll go do it. But it's actually not true, because when I get focused on what I would love to create on this trip, and what's obvious about um, this pull to Europe, what's Europe wanting to give me, what's this trip wanting to give me? It's like, you know what, man, like this whole fantasy of you staying in like the big resorts and going out, and it sounds very attractive, and it's like, come on, Jordan, dream bigger. But it's like that's my ego saying this is what I think you would love. And it would be a great time, but it's not necessarily expansive. Like I've been on holidays like that where you spend lots of cash and you come back just like going, well, I'm 5 kilos heavier, I'm rested, but I didn't necessarily come back fresh, refreshed, and a more like I didn't necessarily expand. And it's okay, like if you want a holiday like that, but like what I've worked out with myself is that travel for me is about expansion. And sometimes, it is about dropping cash. I did that when I was in America last time. It was very obvious to do it there. But this time it's really there's house sits in the country. So I'm going to the French countryside. I'm heading to these Spanish towns that I've heard of before in the La Liga, in the football league there in Spain, but like they're not the main attractions. They're not like Ibiza um, or Seville. Like they're smaller towns, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be this whole exploration and expansive adventure. So that for me has been very alive, and of course my ego's chimed in and gone, launch your mastermind now, man. Launch your mastermind, sell this, sell that, da, 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 da. And it's all about money. It's all about money. But it doesn't actually, money doesn't actually like equate to a solid foundation in my business. And whenever I reorientate into, okay, well, what that's money. Okay, I get that. But what about business? Like, what am I building here? It's like I've changed glasses. It's like this was one prescription, this is other prescription. And when I look over here, it's completely different. And what becomes obvious when I look at it over here, it's like there's a different audience that I'm targeting. Over here, it's all about the people I know and how can I provide services to those people that solve their problems. And yes, I can make money like that, but it doesn't actually build a solid business because over here, because that's not about a business, that's just about cash. But over here, when I'm focused on a business, it's like, okay, who's the customer? Oh, wow. Okay. Do I actually know those people? I'm not sure. What am I teaching? Right. Okay. There's the orientation of intuition. There's genius. There's leadership there. There's some communication stuff. There's relationships. There's a whole bunch of things, but it's centered around a particular person. Okay. And it's not based on money. So I get a different set of action steps. So, for me, it's been about seeing that um, desire for money and for what it is. It's like, well, I think if I make the money, my life's going to be better in Spain and France, which is complete bullshit. I see through that. I've experienced it where I've tried that, but it hasn't necessarily worked. And for whatever your reason is for wanting money, and again, I'm not opposed to having money. You need it, right? But I'm pulling the veil back on this. Like, challenge yourself. Like, pay off school fees. Like, I hear people. It's like, if I could just get rid of my debts, or if I could just have it easy of paying the bills, then what? Then what? What happens? You feel more relaxed. But have you expanded? Have you expanded? I remember I was very good at paying off everything back in the day, everything ahead of time when I was running my agency. Didn't expand. My bank account expanded, yes, but then it depletes. Expand, deplete, expand, deplete. Nothing would grow. Nothing would grow past what I know. Didn't mean to rhyme there, but it's true. And now what I found is, though it's not as like up and down, like explosion then down. It's a gradual increase. It's a gradual game of progression, but it's sustainable. And you know that's because I'm not resolving this thing where it's like my life is going to be better if I can pay for this, if I can pay that, and I can just get rid of all the problems. Like for me, I could easily look at Spain and France and go, mate, the fact that you're using house sits or the fact that you're staying over there, that's a problem. You need to break through it. It's like, no, it's not. It's not, because this trip, what it's about is connecting with new people. It's about So you get it, right? You get to choose what is a problem and what's not a problem. So I've just found it fascinating. I really wanted to dive into that because so many people, including myself, I'm in this war every day. Distraction comes from thinking that things are problems, particularly with money, and we could talk about this in relationships and everything, but I'm not going to go into that today because money was very obvious. But it's like debt. Like, let's talk about debt. Debt's not a problem if you know how to manage it and if you can manage the emotional side of it. Like, I've been through it. I go through it now. I've got some debt, but I don't define it as a problem and say bad thing. Why is it bad? It's a creation. And I leveraged that debt. I leveraged it to create some other things that I look back on. I go, fuck, that was very important. So it's like I'm managing the debt, I'm paying it down, but I'm not defining it as a problem and a limiting factor to creating more in my life. It's just not. It's not in my subconscious as a problem, and therefore I can expand and create things while I am paying that down. But for a lot of people, it's like, I have debt now. I need to pay down that debt. Then I can do the business. So I have the debt and then I can go travel. Or I'm not making enough money. This is classic for a lot of men, including myself. I've been through this and I pull myself out when I can't have the relationship I want now because I don't have the income to pay for the dates and to go and do all the impressive things with the woman I want. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's a lie. It's a lie. But again, like said with love, right? Because I've had that excuse and I still use that card on myself where it's like, no, Jordan, stuz it, right? Stuz it. It's not true. It's not true. But you know, the ego, this is what the ego loves to do. It loves to make these things problems where it's like, it's a problem. So solve it, then you'll have what you want. But you won't. You won't. It's just that classic game of how do I know? Like try this with yourself. How do you know that when you pay off your debt that you will be a happier person? How do you know that for sure? So relief's one thing, but do you know for sure that happiness is going to replace relief? What if it's just disorientation? I don't know what to do with myself now. I don't have the debt, so what do I work for? That's why so many people go to work. That's why I was in sales for ages. It was like, I need to survive. The world's hard. Money's hard to make. Bills are hard to pay. I need to fight for my independence. I had all kinds of stories. And then the minute I saw that was a lie, do this anymore. It was disorientating as fuck. And I've spoken about this before, right? But I threw the career out. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't need to fight for my cash. I don't need to do all that shit. Was I happier? No, no, I wasn't. I wasn't happier. I was, you know, I was in a new orientation. There was a lot of new space, but I wasn't happier. Okay, so really challenge yourself, or like this other thing. Once I get this client, this client, this big contract, then my life's better. But how do you know? You don't know that. Okay. I remember when I was starting this business, I had this thing in my mind. When I start landing teams, when I start landing bigger businesses, I'm going to be much happier with my work. I wasn't. I wasn't. I was going to, all the money's going to just make me less stressed. I wasn't. I wasn't. In fact, I was more disorientated because it's like, well, now that I got this, what does this actually, what's this actually about? Was this just about getting some cash, you know, to go on another trip, or was this actually about building a business? And what it was actually about just getting some cash. So this game, it's more of a war, guys. We're just going to call it for what it is. Are you going for cash or are you going for business? And I'll expand this out if you're not an entrepreneur listening to this. Are you going for a false thing that you think is going to make your life better, or are you going for the thing that you actually want? Like I experienced this even with my music the other day. I wrote this whole song that I've had at the back of my mind for years. Right, this is the classic thing that I do with my music. I finished it, and when I finished it, I'm like, huh. This isn't my music. Why did I write this? I thought it was a good idea. I thought it would get people's attention. And it was like, but this isn't the thing that I actually wanted to create. When I tuned back into what I wanted, the the song just had more of me in it, more of my style of writing, more of my unique expression in music. This thing that I wrote was just about getting some attention. So I'm like, okay, that's complete. It's done. It's out of my system. It's finished, but I'm not releasing it. And then I literally, it was like shifting over to another world. It was like being in LA versus Rome. It's like two different worlds. Well, now I'm back in Rome. Now, again, that's not to shoot down LA. I love LA, but it's just to give you the shift. It's like you're in a different world. You go, this thing's gonna make my life better. Blah, 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 blah. It's psychotic, right? It's like, I'm going for it. And then you realize, you go, did I actually want this, or did I want this because I was expecting it to make my life better? So, you know, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. I hope this episode has helped. If you're going through that, if you've got something that you're wanting to create, a business, and you've got things, you've got the busyness of life, we all do. I just shared with you guys, I've got this big trip to Spain. There's expenses. I still don't know how I'm going to make it all work, right? But whenever I just tune back into what I really want, it's very simple. It's like, oh fuck, I've already got this all set up. I've got that set up for food, groceries, and that's working out, and it's unfolding rather than me rushing to the end where it's like, I know I need to know now. I need to know now what it's all about. And we can speak about the problems that I need to know, that just that orientation, the known orientation, where you need to plan everything ahead of time. We'll speak about that on another episode. I did speak about that on season 1 of my podcast, but we'll do a refresher. But that's what it essentially is, guys. When you think about it, whenever we're going after these things that we think is going to make our lives better, I found, for me, it's my need to know that something's going to work out. But whenever I'm going after what I'd really love, I have no idea whether it's going to work out. I just have zero idea. It's like this business that I'm building at the moment. It's like, I don't know where the fuck it's going. I know what I want. I know what I want, but I don't know the unfolding. I don't know the journey there, but it's coming together. So it's a choice. It's like, am I going to be in the unknown? Am I going to go for what I want and allow what I want to unfold, and just be okay with the fact that I really don't know how this is going to go, versus I know how this is going to go. I'm going to give myself an idea that I know how this is going to go. And I'm going to focus. And with that comes something that I'm going to bust my ass chasing because I think it's going to work. They're two very different things. Two very different things. All right, let's wrap it up there. I hope you guys are well. If you loved this episode, subscribe, share it with a friend who needs to hear this. And I will speak to you next time. All right, catch you later. Have a good day, guys.